So greetings from Pennsylvania once again. It's time for part 2 of my reply to that question and answer session. A little while ago I asked for your questions, and I just did part 1. But I'm going to upload these at different times. I thought it'd be better to split this up into like 2 videos, because I had like 90 comments to that first video I put out for the questions. So I got through about 45 of them. Not all of them were questions. Some of them people were just saying other things or commenting to someone else's. But anyway, we got through half of the comments already. So now it's time to do the other half. So got the refill on coffee. Alright, so here we go. Part 2. Alright, here we go. This is from Julian. Let's see. Do you have or need a fixed blade knife to carry? Says I don't remember seeing that you have one, or I may have missed it. Anyway, I do not carry a fixed blade with me. I do have a Swiss Army knife in my pack, but I don't like carry a fixed blade on me anywhere. I don't really know that. I don't really feel the need to. You know, if I need to cut something, I have the other one. So I don't really. Yeah, I don't really. I guess I answered your question. No, I don't have it on me. I don't really need to have a fixed blade on me. Not that I would never carry one with me, but like I say, if I need a knife, there is one in my bag for camping and stuff like that. So, all right, let's see here. Oh, no question from this person. Just saying they like my stuff. All right, thank you. That was from Glenn, actually. Now, let's see. This is from Nancy. There's several Nancys that commented here. She's saying thank you for my videos. One of my questions is, how long were you working at the school? I'm not sure what school you're talking about. I did teach at a Christian school for 2 years, but I've been working with homeschoolers for like 20 years. So hopefully that answers your question. And how many miles have you walked in one day? I guess she means the most miles I've walked in one day is about 15. So I did 2 15-mile hike. I did 2. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think those were both on the Appalachian Trail. I did 2 15-mile long hikes in one day. So, which is a decent amount. You know, some through hikers will hike 20, 25 miles in one day. But yeah, that makes for a long day. So, have you been to Williamsport Lycoming area? Yes, many times. Yeah, sorry, I was just trying to read their question. I think they left some words out. But yeah, I have been to the Williamsport Lycoming area quite often, so not quite sure if what they're asking next is a question or not there, but yeah, this topic comes up. People ask about years ago I used to film with a person, he had a channel called JP Videos. I don't film with him anymore. I think I've answered his question in the past. It's just something that it's a situation I need to walk away from, and it's just all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything more about that, either good or bad. Just leave that go. They asked me about Linda Ronstadt, a song, Blue Bayou. I don't know that. Remember hearing about that? Got the police driving by, they're not looking for me. Yeah. Linda Ronstadt, Blue Bayou. Like it. I have no idea. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Hey Cliff, what is the highest elevation you've ever hiked in or outside of PA? Let me take a moment to think about it. Let's see. Well, I've been to the highest place in Pennsylvania, Mount Davis, 3,300 some feet, I think, or something like that. Not very high. Yeah, West Virginia, the high point in West Virginia was about 4,800 feet. We did that a couple years ago. That just might be... I'm trying to think. I did the high point in Massachusetts, which I think was in the 4,000s too. Yeah. Hold on, I can figure out. Let me
I do have my journal for my state high points. Where's Massachusetts?
Yeah, West Virginia was 4,863 feet.
Oh, Massachusetts is only in the 3,000s.
Okay. Yeah, so I can't say. I haven't been out west somewhere, some 14,000 foot mountain. That would be amazing. Yeah, so that might be it. High Point, West Virginia might be my highest point that I've hiked. I think, from just thinking offhand here. Not very high for some people. I know we hiked We were up in New England last summer. We did Mount Monadnock, which is only 3,000 some feet, although it feels higher. That was amazing. Oh, someone talks about the square root of peanut butter again. Have you ever seen a ghost? No, I've never seen a ghost. Or any of the covered bridges, I think they mean. No, I've never seen anything like that on a covered bridge. Not sure I want to either. What is your most favorite genre of music? And what is your least favorite genre of music? Well, I can answer the second question pretty easy. I do not like rap music, to be honest. Not always. There's different types of rap music. Some of it's actually has maybe decent lyrics. Some of it doesn't. I just don't like. It does not. It does not. I don't know. It doesn't go. I don't like the sound of it. I don't like the. I don't like it. I can handle most any other music, but rap music. Sorry. What's my most favorite? Wow. So if I'm at home, if I'm looking for some nice relaxing music, especially if I'm gonna do some cleaning or I don't know, some writing, I do have Pandora on my phone and my laptop. You can create channels on there. I do have one just called Lord of the Rings. It plays music from the movies, Lord of the Rings movies, but also plays movie from other similar types of movies, and it gets into like some Celtic and other just that kind of music. That's kind of what I like. It's kind of like my go-to thing. If I need something more peppy, there's a group called Two Steps from Hell. I know it sounds awful. It's not some metal group. It's just like music. It's like this battle between good and evil type music. It's the idea. It's some kind. Sometimes it's like this very intense music. Like the one song is called Victory. It's not. They're not. Usually they don't sing, but it's kind of like this intense music in a way. But I kind of like it too. It's kind of like the intense. It's like the battle. It's like you're at any moment during the battle. Especially if evil wins, you're only like 2 steps from hell. It's kind of like the idea of it. Not that the music itself is only 2 steps from hell. I said some people think when they hear it, or when they hear you say the name. But because I do down in the basement, I do have a little setup where I work out sometimes, do some lifting and stuff, and sometimes I'll listen to that to get me kind of motivated. If that makes any sense. I could go on and on about that, but let's move on. Do you have a favorite American explorer story? Not offhand, really, that I can think of. Do you have a favorite American explorer story? I can't really think of anything offhand that comes to mind. That's from Steven. So yeah, I'm not sure how to answer that one. I love stories of explorers and stuff ever since I was little. In the previous part 1 of this series, someone asked me, Max Some Outdoors, he asked me what kind of videos I watch, and I forgot to mention I do love exploring videos where they go to the deepest, darkest Africa or some other jungle or some cave system, and the explorer videos. But I can't think of a specific favorite American explorer. Sorry, but that's a good question though. Maybe I'll have to think about that more. Oh yeah, they asked about what would you consider to be the very basics to take on a hike. Someone asked something similar about that in the first video I mentioned. I just made a video recently talking about some of that stuff. I'll mention a few things here. Some of the basics to take on a hike. For me, I always recommend taking some drink, some food, and water along. Whether that's water, I often take Propel along. It's like a electrolyte water to drink along, and some snacks. I think that's something you should take along on every hike. But that question does get difficult because it all depends on what kind of hike you're talking about. Like if you're just talking about, because that video I filmed recently, hiking and camping advice I mentioned, that's kind of difficult to answer because are you talking about just a little short 2-mile day hike, or are you talking about a long distance multi-day hike? So I think you should probably watch that video I made some time ago on hiking and camping advice. I think that'd be better suited to answer some of those questions. How did you get started with your channel? What equipment do you use? I'm just getting started with the video creation and would love your input. My iPhone is not cutting it. How did you get started with your channel? I answered that in part 1, so I'm not going to answer that here again in this video. So you can go watch part 1. I'm not going to just re-explain things in part 2 here. What equipment do you use? I mentioned in part 1, in part 1, I do use the Sony AX43. That's what I use. In a future video, I might share, like I said, talk about what else I use with the external microphone or anything. And with the external microphone and all the other stuff, the setup that I have, I'm not going to answer that all in this video, but I am planning on making a video soon of that stuff, so hopefully that'll answer your question. Then, yeah, you say my iPhone is not cutting it. I can understand that. I know sometimes my rig is pretty big. People comment on that sometimes, but I do have an action camera that I film with sometimes, but I just like what I have for different reasons. Yeah, so I can understand why your phone isn't cutting it, but I think, like I said, I'm going to answer that question more fully in a future video. I think instead of trying to answer it in this video. So, yeah, right now it's Thanksgiving break, so I should be able to do it during break. I think we'll see. Knowing the area you grew up in, do you know PA Dutch? Does your mother know it? Oh, my mom does know a little bit. My dad did too. I know a tiny bit. It comes out in my vocabulary sometimes the words I use. Sometimes people even ask, like, what does that mean? I think when I use the one word, rutching. It looks like something was rutching around here. Someone says, what is he saying? But I had one uncle that taught us as kids to say some stuff that wasn't so nice in Pennsylvania Dutch. We were told, I think we learned, was it "Ik moest vatsen," which means I have to fart. He taught us that, and how to call someone an old fart. I'm probably gonna say it wrong. Dubestein Alde Fats or something. So we would, anyway, he told us, I mean, it wasn't horrible stuff, but he told us, like, not so nice. He taught us some not so nice Pennsylvania Dutch to say, anyway. But yeah, if someone came up to me speaking it, I wouldn't be able to talk to them. I don't think my mom could either. She might understand a few things. Would you like to kayak on the Delaware River? I think he mentions that I could go with him doing that. I thought about it actually before, kayaking the length of the Delaware River, because they have campsites along that you can stop at and do things like that. So it is something I've considered, even on other rivers too, like the Swatara Creek. So yeah, there's just a lot of things in my mind that I've been thinking about doing. But yeah, I thought about that. Oh yeah, they talked about my teaching. You said you taught a class. Are you a college professor or a teacher? And what is it do you teach? Yeah, I think I covered this already just a little bit. I forget if I did it in the part 1 or part 2. I'm filming these videos back to back. I'm not going to upload them back to back. But yeah, I teach. I work with homeschoolers. I do have a master's degree, so I am qualified. But no, I'm not a college professor. What do you teach? Mostly science right now, science classes. I did math in the past, and some history classes too. Actually, I'm doing a history class in the spring, a PA history class. But like this year, it's I have biology, chemistry, environmental science, general science, and a PA history. That's what I'm teaching this year. But I've taught all kinds of science classes though, so that's what I teach. What kind of brand of footwear do you use? I think I talked about this in a recent video too, on my hiking and camping advice. Yeah, this is it. Merrill. That's the name brand there that I use. I've been using those for quite a few years. That's just my second pair. I used to just get the Cabela's brand, which is good, but these were a little bit more expensive, but the first pair I got has lasted a long time, which is saying a lot for me. I put a lot of miles on my shoes. Anywhere in the lower 38, I think they mean 48. Anywhere in the lower 48, meaning the 48 states, where you would like to backpack for 3 weeks. Wow. Maybe Maine. That pops in my mind. Also, it'd be cool to be out west too, like in Montana or Idaho. All kinds of places. What do you carry in your backpack? That would be really helpful for us occasional hikers. I feel like I kind of answered that just a little bit recently here. I'm gonna make a separate video on that coming up here too. I gotta write notes down. I gotta make a video on like filming gear. What do you carry in your backpack? So I think you're going to have to wait for me to cover that in more detail. I think I could better do a more separate video on that, so sorry. I'll get to that later. I think it might just be for the best. Have you ever felt like you were being watched? Yes. I think I talked about that in the first video. Someone talked about if I was creeped out by people, and I told the story if I felt like I was being followed at one point. I'm not going to repeat that story here. You can watch the part 1 if you didn't. I think that kind of answers your question. It did feel like they were watching me. But if you mean like just someone watching me that I didn't know was watching me, like, no, I never felt that weird. Like I was hiking and someone was just like, no, I don't think I ever have. Oh boy, here's a... Oh yeah, someone's talking about... I think they want to start shooting video, but I've been deterred by the editing process. Ask me what camera I use. The Sony AX43 is the camera I use. And what you use to edit. What do you use to edit? Let me finish the question. Look. Yeah, just... Alright, so that's it. So, get it. Yeah, the editing process can be a bit, it can be tough. Like, it took me a little while to figure it out. I started out by using Windows Movie Maker. I don't know if that's available anymore. I think it might be again. I think it wasn't, but then it is. I use something called Animotica. I'll put the name down here. It's called Animotica. It's fairly easy to learn to use, to be honest. There's much more complicated editing software out there that's really like in depth, and yeah, but Animotica, some people have never heard of it. Some people think it's kind of like really basic, but it is really basic, and that makes it easy to use. I don't spend more time than I need to editing. I mean, some people just, I don't know how to word it, they just try to change everything in their video, the sound and everything, and wow. But yeah, that'd be something to check out. It's called Animotica. Anywhere you plan to visit next year outside of Pennsylvania? This is from Caitlin. Sure. I mean, this year I was in West Virginia. I just filmed down over New Jersey. We were up in New York and Maryland this year, so I'll probably be in those places again. But I would like to get back up to New England next summer. That's one place I have in mind, because last summer that was amazing. Being up there, especially camping in Vermont and New Hampshire, climbing Mount Monadnock, that was amazing. I'd love to actually get up that way again and make it to Maine next summer. So that's the plan. We'll see. This is from Darlene. Lots of questions. I probably won't answer them all in this video. I know the first video, a lot of people asked me about my faith and stuff. When did you become a Christian? Probably about a month before I turned 16 is when I did. She asked me what my testimony is. I'm probably not going to give that in this video just for time's sake. That's something I should make a whole different video on sometime, just to be honest. Do you teach biblical classes to your students? No. Like I teach just the science and the history and the math. And she asked why you're not teaching at a college or other school about, Bible stuff. Well, it's just the way it worked out. To be honest, at one point in college, when I started, I have a master's degree. I think, was it right before, or was I a senior, or right my first year of master's? At one point there, I was thinking about going to Poland, actually, to teach in a seminary over there, of all things. I was actually in contact with the one guy over there. He could speak English and write English, but we messaged back and forth, and in the end, it just didn't work out. I'm not going to get into all that in this video, but yeah, I am where I am, to be honest. I think I am where I'm supposed to be. I guess that kind of answers your question, but that's just the way things work out. Yeah, the whole thing about my testimony, I think I should probably save that for a different video. Like I'm saying about some of these other things, what's in your backpack and what do you film with, your setup. That's probably for, considering length and everything, that might be better for another video. But yeah, some good questions. Oh, this is from Tony from Random Adventures 2.0. Oh boy, he admits this. I know this will be a tough question because of all the places you've been to. But in Pennsylvania, what is your most favorite spot that you have been to? Thanks, Tony. Something that popped in my mind right away was Cook Forest State Park. I camped there for 2 nights. That was amazing. I remember right when I pulled in, there were deer like in my camp spot. They didn't run away either. That's the place where the chipmunks tried to run up my leg. The wildlife there was amazing. And it was just beautiful with the old growth forest. I loved that place. So no, that's what popped in my mind as soon as you asked that question. So maybe that's it. I can't say for sure, but that's what popped in my mind. So we'll leave it at that. If I think about it too much, I'll start thinking of all kinds of other stuff. What's this? Have you ever gone as far as you can on your ancestry? And is there anyone that did not have a tombstone? I've gone as far as I can, but recently I got that. Remember I showed you that big binder that someone sent me recently? I think it's back. It's back on. Everything's a mess back there. Don't look back there. But yeah, someone. Oh, I forgot your name. Clint. Was it Clint? I think he did a whole thing on my family history. This huge binder, and he went as far as back as he could. Yeah, some of the older ones don't have tombstones. Quite a few of the ones don't have tombstones. So yeah, I'm wondering. Well, this is from Heidi. This is a good question. I'm wondering if you ever rewatch your older videos. Occasionally, but it's difficult. If you ever wonder why you stopped doing certain things, or wait a second. If you ever think of why did I stop doing that, or sure glad that you did stop that. Yeah, I mean, you learn to change things. I have no. There's nothing that I've stopped doing that I'm glad that I regret stopped doing, but I had to learn to do things differently as I went along. If that makes sense. Things like, yeah, in the older videos, my face is like super close to the camera because I wasn't really filming with a wide screen. And you watch the older video, when you watch those older videos, I'm like, whoa, my face is way too close. But that's the way it was with the older camera gear. A lot of older videos, it's like that. People's faces like right there. I had to learn to slow down my moving of the camera around too much. I used to like film, and then filming a face, then I'd turn the camera around and flip the little view screen around too, and do that. And there's a lot of moving the camera around. I kind of stopped doing that. When I'm filming myself, I'll stop filming and then turn the camera around and then start filming again. Just kind of it eliminates a lot of that extra movement. Things like that. So yeah. Yeah, there's things I'm glad I changed. If that answers your question. Yeah, I don't like watching older videos. But there are people who film reaction videos. They'll have an older video up and they'll show themselves watching. It's like cringeworthy as they watch how they used to film. When will you be completing the Union Canal series? We'll see. Like I said, or I think it's mentioned in the first part one of this. I took a break from that this summer. I am starting it up again in my one notebook here. I'm starting to work on getting the names of property owners and their addresses again, because that's a whole long process. I've talked about in the past. I've got to find whose property the canal is on, get their address, write them a letter, see if I can get permission. So I've started that process up again for Dauphin County. We finished up through Lebanon County, but like I said, I had to take a break from it. Just for different reasons. You don't want to burn out, and it was just kind of need a break from it. But yes, I'm definitely finishing it. We've gone way too far. There's no way I'm not going to finish that. Also, what or who motivated you to become a teacher? I'm not sure there's anyone in particular, really. I mean, a name did pop into mind there. My one college teacher, Dr. Hayner. It's a she, but she was a doctor. In history there, when I went to college, I liked her. She was really, anyway, she was just really awesome as a teacher. She really pushed you, but she really understood. Anyway, she was a good teacher. So I feel like in some ways, maybe to answer your question, that's the name that popped up when you said who motivated you to be a teacher. But I was planning on being a teacher before I ever had her as a teacher. But I feel like she helped me want to become a teacher more, if that makes sense, if I'm making any sense there. But I don't really know there's one single person that made me want to become a teacher. I think that was just kind of in me. Oh, yeah, they ask why the Jeep is named Naomi. Yeah, I think someone else asked that too. They ask, is Naomi your girlfriend, your sister, or just a good friend?
It's just a friend. It kind of goes like years ago. There's some people I film with every now and then. You see them in the videos, but I think it was on the way up or back from Ricketts Glen State Park. All my trucks and cars had names. There was a Becky, there was an Abigail, there was an Emily. Someone was I could think of. And that was back in 2019 when I first got the Jeep. And we were on the way up, I think so, on the way up or down, we were talking about it, and the question came up, oh, your Jeep doesn't have a name. And the person sitting next to me, her name was Naomi, and I kind of joked. I was like, I'll name the Jeep Naomi. And at first it was just kind of like a joke, but then it just kind of stuck, so that's why it's named Naomi. It's just named after a friend. It was kind of like it's a joke at first. It wasn't something I was going to stick with, but then it just ended up sticking, so that's where the name came from. Have you considered doing food and store reviews of the places you frequent? Not really. I don't really do a whole lot of filming inside places. Some stores don't want you to film in, to be honest, and some restaurants don't either. And I'm kind of a shy, more introverted person. I don't really like filming in public places where I'm not the kind of person that's going to sit there at my restaurant table and start doing a review of the food I'm eating. It's just not really my thing. Like I said, some restaurants don't want you to do that, and some of the people around you don't want you to do it either. So that's probably not going to happen. So I feel like you almost have to have permission from the restaurant to do that and stuff like that. How did your Jeep get its name? I just answered that a little while ago. And yeah, someone asked about JP videos again. I figured if I answered that in this video, part 1. But once again, it's just a situation I need to walk away from. That's all I'm going to say. Let that go. This question again. Oh, this is Missy Misadventure. She has a YouTube channel. What are the 2 most scariest moments you have had on the trails? One where safety was the concern, and one where spookiness was the concern. I told you the one story earlier, I think in part 1 maybe, where I talked about in Evansburg State Park, where I felt like 2 people were following me. I'm not going to repeat that story, but that was maybe the one where I felt my safety was a concern. Where spookiness was a concern, I can't think of anything at all where I was worried about anything spooky. So probably not the answer you want, but I can't think of anything for that one. But yeah, I answered the other part, either part 1 or part 2. Like I said, I filmed these back to back. I forget what. Anyway, there's 90 of these questions. Not sure what that person is asking. Oh, here we go. What is your favorite place to hike, and your favorite food to eat while hiking? I only asked this whole square root of peanut butter thing again there. What is your favorite place to hike? Once again, I mean, I think I gave the answer. I think I mentioned that part 1. The place is also close to my heart is up there in Stony Valley or St. Anthony's Wilderness, where you have the gold mine area, the Boxcar Rocks, that kind of stuff. So that's the first place I started hiking. And there's lots of other cool places too, but for sentimental reasons, that's my favorite place, I would say. Favorite food to eat while hiking? I don't know. I'm gonna say beef jerky. Have you ever had an uncomfortable encounter while out wandering? Like someone doing drugs or having an uncomfortable encounter. Like I mentioned previously, there was that one encounter at Evansburg State Park, but I think they're talking about like someone doing drugs or other nefarious things on trail. No, actually, there was one. I wasn't filming. I was with a group of people. I think it was at the 501 overlook on the Appalachian Trail. There's definitely some drug activity going on there, but I can't think of anything else. I mean, there's been awkward situations where I wanted to go to like a lookout and there was people like making out and stuff, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not gonna get my view today. I didn't want to like walk up and start filming them, but no, nothing overly bad I've encountered or off. How tall are you? I'm about 5'11". So, are you still looking to buy a house? Yes and no. I mean, life's a little bit complicated right now, and the housing market is like way out of control. Even if there is something I'd like, it's just anyway. But yeah, I'm still keeping my eyes open for something. But right now, I'm concentrating on building my channel and saving money so that I can get something when maybe the market's a little bit more favorable. If that answers your question. This is from Jessica. I've been
thinking of hiking or walking on trails, but to tell you the truth, I'm a little afraid because I will be doing it alone. She says, ask about, are the trails safe for women alone? What would you recommend I carry with me? Oh boy. I think it depends a lot on where you hike. Nothing against cities, but the closer you hike to where cities are, the more dangerous it is, I would say. Not that you can't encounter bad people, like in the mountains and stuff, but the closer you get to the big cities, the more crime there is. That's just the way it is, folks. And that's where I've encountered my more creepier encounters too. I would encourage you to carry at the very least like the pepper spray along. Either sometimes you can have one that attaches right to your wrist. Like I have pepper spray, but it's usually in my bag, my backpack, and I talk about that sometimes when I teach a class or something. It's not always the best place for it to be because if someone's going to attack you, you can not be like, oh wait, stop, let me get my pepper spray out. So if you have it on your wrist or on your waist or even like hanging from your neck, that can be a good thing. There's also those things you can buy. They're like an alarm goes off. You just this thing you can like forget how you do it. You got to do several things. Push a button, pull something, and it just sends out this shrilling alarm. That can be good just to scare people away. Even if it doesn't scare them away, it draws attention to you. If there's going to be other people around that will hear that, they'll know someone's in danger. That might be something to use too. Even a knife, like if there's these knives that hang around your neck. It's like a neck knife. There's like a little sheath that he pulls out. Those can be helpful because if someone like comes up around you, grabs you by the neck, you can, you see that people try to pull your arm up, but just pull that little knife out, and slash their arm, and they'll let go. So those are just some things that come to mind to answer that question. But it can be scary. I understand for women. I've been told many stories from others. What is your favorite kind of ice cream? Mint chocolate chip, but not the green kind. That's fake. That's fake food coloring. The nice Turkey Hill makes a natural mint chocolate chip where it's just white with the mint chocolate chips. Is there an old cave called Morgan's Cave in Morgantown, PA? I have no idea, to be honest. Never even heard of something like that. So, sorry. Why is your car named Naomi? Just answered that a little while ago. Have you ever lost or got turned around to the point you started to panic or got real concerned? Not really. The only time that really did happen is when I wasn't filming at the time. Me and my friend John were out somewhere hiking. Neither of us was really paying attention. I thought he knew. I thought I was kind of like following him. I thought he was leading us in the right direction, but he was thinking I was doing that, and neither one of we kind of missed the one trail we were supposed to take, and we ended up completely up on another mountain from where we wanted to be, and it got a little hairy, but it was okay in the end. I don't know that I don't really ever panic in the woods, but yeah, it was a little bit concerning. But that was prior to when I was filming. But these days I always have my GPS along, so I don't really ever get lost. If you know what I mean. Can you tell us what camera gear you use and video editor? Yeah, once again, the Sony AX43, and the video editor I use is called Animotica. Once again, I think I answered those already in this part 2 here. Like I said, I'm going to make another video on my camera gear a little bit later to answer more of that question. Okay, I think that's it then. Alright, that's the end of part 2 there, folks. Hopefully I answered your questions. Like I said, there's a few videos I might make separately to answer more in depth some of those questions, so I'll try and get on that. But thanks for sticking with me here through part 2, and hopefully we'll see you next time on the trail again. Right? Thanks for watching.